Hello! Today I'll show you how to design interesting drum sounds while shaping the Erae 2 as the ultimate percussive controller. First of all, let's see how we can use the surface and its pressure to our advantage to make an instrument pretty close to how it would sound in real life. To create a center, we will use 4 key elements. We want our X absolute to always be in the middle, so we will duplicate our first element and rotate it. We will do this 3 times. Throughout the process, we will make sure that the CC values are the same for all the elements. For this example, I used Chromaphone 3 and made a preset that sounds like a little hand drum. An interesting technique on percussions is the pitch bend. To do a pitch bend, a percussionist holds the skin and applies a pressure while tapping on it. To mimic this, we can go to the pitch parameter, right-click on it, and then, on the Erae, press the mapping button. Once in the mapping menu, we will click on pressure. Now that the mapping is done, we can pitch bend. By default, when we link a CC to a parameter, Chromaphone lets you control it across its entire range. Here, 96 semitones is a bit too much, so let's set a minimum and a maximum value. I'll go to 0, right-click and select Set Minimum Value. Then, I'll go 2 semitones higher and set the maximum value. To add some depth to the playing, we can link the X absolute to the hit position to recreate a rim shot. By the way, there's a new black silicone skin. Wow. Let's use the same preset, but with a different setting. By juxtaposing 2 effects, we can create a 4-corner pad, meaning that each corner will make a different sound. For this one, the lab setup is pretty simple. All we need is a key element with pressure and X and Y absolute. I linked the X abs to mallet and stiffness. On the right, it will sound like a hand drum played with finger. And on the left, with brushes. Then I added corpus, and the radius is linked to Y absolute. My drum will progressively turn into an acid sound as I play higher on the pad. Here we're still using a key element, but this time we will use all the gestures: XY relative and absolute, and pressure. I used Faceplant for this preset, composed of a single noise generator and a rain sound in a sampler. The interesting part is in the mapping. In this preset, I wanted to create a radial behavior. This means that I wanted my 0 in the middle of my pad for both X and Y absolute. In Faceplant, you can add a CC and have it in unipolar mode, which means that it will go from 0 to 127. You can reverse it or have it in bipolar mode, meaning that 63 will be 0, 127 will be the max value, and 0 will be the minimum. I linked the Y absolute, or CC61, to the width of both the stereo effect and the reverb width. This will push the sound on the sides as I play higher on the pad. The pan is set to the X absolute, or CC60. Now the panning will follow my finger. This preset regroups everything we've seen so far: radial CC mapping, pressure linked to the pitch, spatial play, and add some ideas to go further than what a classic instrument can do. I used 2 dabuka samples, one with more bass in the middle, and another one drier on the side. I processed them with some distortion and reverb, but the interesting thing here is that the low dabuka has a filter that reacts to the velocity. The drier dabuka set on the side will appear as the low one disappears. The pitch is slightly different on each side and is panned. This layout is composed of 2 key elements. The one on the top is tuned to a C2, while the one at the bottom is tuned to a C0. So let's go back to Chromaphone. Here I stacked 4 instances in a rack instrument. If you'd like to know more about instrument racks, macros and the expression control module, I invite you to check our video, Master Ableton with the Erae 2. The first instance is a pretty soft sound, and the mix of the other 3 is linked to the velocity thanks to the expression control module. Here, instead of linking the pressure to the pitch, I linked it to the reverb mix. Now, when I hold the pad, it will act as a gate reverb opener. The Erae 2 can have up to 2 pedals hooked in its MIDI ports 11 and 12, or in the lab, foot switch A and B. To configure the Erae 2 like a classic drum, I'll use a trigger pedal for the kick and an expression pedal for the hi-hat. Let's plug the trigger pedal into the 12th output and the hi-hat in the 11th. I'll use Groove Agent. In this plugin, the kick is set to a C1 and my MIDI channel is the 7th. So let's put the mode in note, the MIDI channel to 7, and a note to a C1. I can also configure the pedal via the menuing of the Erae 2. I press the parameter button, scroll down to foot switch A, let's enable it, change the type to expression, the channel to 7, like my drum set, and the CC to 4, as it is a CC used by Groove Agent to change the state of the hi-hat. And that's it for today. If you'd like us to explore new plugins or new ways of playing, let us know in the comments. And until next time, have fun!